Hello and welcome once again to episode 31 of Journeys in Fandom.
Woo! We're back. It's Election Special 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep, Journeys in Fandom / Politics. Politics.
Yeah.
JIP. Journeys in Politics. Can we say JIP? We can say. That's a British thing, isn't it? Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh! Not that. JIP with a J. Oh, God. Right, there we go.
Yep.
I've alienated that audience before it started, don't I?
Yeah, we're done well. We're doing well. So, Journeys in Politics. When did we become a politics podcast? It's
I don't
surreal.
know. We've kind of morphed a little bit. Maybe it's because we got old.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Venn diagram of fandom and politics, we were in the middle going, hello.
Yeah, maybe there isn't anything to talk about in fandom. Everyone's just calm and getting along. As if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, there'll be some controversy or some dispute going on as we speak that we're not aware of because we're too old and out of touch.
Yeah, this is true. Talking of things that we talked about on the last podcast, we made a bet about a certain doctor maybe appearing at a certain event. And it dawns on me that he's on stage doing Macbeth and there's a matinee performance on a Saturday. We could obviously block it.
I've been still wincing every time they make an announcement. They made an announcement last night that Millie Gibson's doing Sunday as well. And when I saw the thing, I was like, no.
Okay, so if it was Sunday, then yeah.
And they keep re-releasing the schedule for the weekend, and I keep like sweating and watching that. But thankfully, what I need to get is still within reach, so to speak. Unless they announce 10 at like literally lastminute.com next week. I don't think they will. But I was thinking maybe they would do because they know they get the sales because people would rush it. But I don't think they will. And especially, like you say, if he's in the matinee.
Yeah, it'd be funny though.
No, it wouldn't.
It would. Because you owe me a tenner. So therefore it'd be hilarious.
If it gets to Wednesday, I'll be less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They can't announce it past Wednesday because that would be bonkers.
Friday night special.
Oh,
guess what, guys? Tomorrow, boom.
I know, but they're there because it opens on Friday. So actually, yeah, it opens on Friday. So all the staff will be there. They'll be travelling Thursday. So Wednesday is the very last day. But I'm confident he won't be there.
Okay. Wednesday night special. Come on. Got this. Got this.
Oh, dear.
So, shall we dive right into the cesspool as American politics?
Oh, yeah. What's going on with my hair? I've got Trump hair. Look, it's gone weird. Maybe it's just coming out in sympathy. Don't touch my hair.
Election result that surprised no one at all.
Nope, not me.
Trump won by a landslide.
That surprised me, but I've been saying it on this podcast, at work, at home, everywhere. I've been saying it since November. No one listens to me. I predicted it, and I was right.
Yep.
No brainer.
Yeah. I think there were so many things. So many.
Where do you start with dissecting what happened?
Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, there's today, as of when we're recording today, Nancy Pelosi's come out and blamed him for the reason they lost, which is partly true, but very narrow-sighted. He was one of many things that went wrong, but he wasn't the cause of why they lost, I don't think. He was just a symptom, not symptom, what's the word? Part of it.
Yeah. He was a factor, and I think the disastrous, what's it called? Head-to-head they did. Was,
the debate.
Yeah, the debate was absolute chaos. Because actually, you going, guys, you knew he wasn't fit to do this. You let it happen. So the trust is instantly destroyed. Because if you didn't know, you're incompetent. And if you did know, the hell.
Yeah, and I think, jumping around a bit, they knew and they outright lied. Kamala Pelosi, whoever they used to speak to, oh yeah, what do they say? Sharp as a tack, hasn't lost a step, and then literally a month later, oh yeah, he's stepping down because he's not because he's old and stuff like that. They knew, and they tried to gaslight everybody by saying he wasn't when you could see it. It was going on. Oh geez, start of the year, start of 2024, you could see it. It was obvious, the gaffes and all the stuff and the interviews and all the stuff on the. And everybody from the press secretary all the way up was saying, no, he's fine. And suddenly he's not. So.
And I thought about this. There is no good position to be in there, because actually, if he's not fine, at what point do you say he's not fine? Because actually, he's in charge of the country.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it last time. He's still in charge. And everyone seems to have forgotten he exists. And I know now, president-elect, it doesn't matter, but he's still in charge. And everyone's lost sight of the fact who is running the country at the moment. For the last how many months when she's been on the road, who's been running the country? The machine.
Well, nothing's happened. That's after the problem.
Machine is running the country, and he's just the figurehead of the machine.
Yeah.
And
again, the whole thing with how American politics is set up, a president can't actually do anything unless they have so they need the presidency, the House, and the Senate, and a massive majority.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you do nothing.
Yeah.
Because everything you do gets filibustered.
And I think the thing, yeah, he's a lame duck before now, but he's a lame duck now. But it was, I think the problem was she's saying, and this gets me, this made me chuckle. If he pulled out earlier, then we could have had a primary and we could have got a good candidate. Now, the only reason they picked her is because if they didn't, they'd lose all the money, because the money raised was in the Biden-Harris campaign. So they had to pick her, otherwise they'd have to raise all the money again, because legally they can't have donations and they can't transfer. So to come out and say, oh, we would have done it properly if he'd come out, it's just rubbish, because they sat there banging on about wanting to save democracy when she wasn't even elected to be a candidate. They just installed her. The elite picked her, no one voted for her, and put her in place. So it's hypocrisy, and it just it makes me laugh that it's just like, you come out and saying that now when you knew about it, and she was one of the ones that pushed him out. Her and the Obamas pushed him out.
Yeah. And
ultimately.
And to be fair, I don't think the Democrats had a candidate. Because who do you put up against?
No,
the Donald.
They didn't have a
you're just going to get shredded.
I couldn't name anyone who would have been a credible candidate. The only, and I can't remember the guy's name, the only person who won a primary other than Biden was some dude from Puerto Rico who got, or some dude that Puerto Rico voted instead of Biden. And I can't remember who he was, but it was just like, what's going on there? But yeah, I don't even know who the candidates would have been. I don't think there was any, because everyone stepped aside to let Biden run. So there wasn't any candidates bar whoever this guy was.
What did you... So obviously we talked last time about the various campaigns. And like Trump's was just Trump classic. And you just go, it's brash, it's loud, and it's Trump. And people are going to vote for him. Whereas Harris's, you just go, what were your policies? What were you there for?
Yep.
Who are you? Why are you here?
Yep.
It's, I think we said it before, turning up and going, I'm not him, vote for me, loses you elections.
Yeah. That, I think...
Because what do you stand for?
That's what she ran on. And Trump ran on economy, immigration. They were the two main things all the way through it, were his two main points.
And the thing is, if she'd have gone, the economy is quite good, actually, you could have run on that. And you go, yeah, the border's a bit of a shit show, but actually, it's not that's a problem. They come in through ports of entry. This is not the problem.
Yeah, she had no counter-argument to anything.
Oh, they were just nothing. Going, what is your policy? Why are you here? What is the point of you?
And
they did the Hillary Classic. We got celebrity endorsements.
we'll come to that in a minute.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
The celebrity also. Yeah, policies. She had till very late on not got any policies. Every interview, she just answered with nothing. There was no substance to anything. It was what they call Trump derangement syndrome. Apparently, it's what it's called, TDS. But all they could talk about is Trump. I think the last couple of weeks, she didn't mention him by name. So obviously, someone had got to her and said, "Stop mentioning him by name." She kept calling him the other guy. But yeah, he ran on the economy. That was the main policy that he got votes for. And he got votes from the women, from Latino, from black, from white, everywhere because of the economy. Because, 4 years ago, the economy was better under Trump. And that's what people care about. And I think she ran under I'm Not Trump, and I think she also ran under the abortion argument, banking on getting a big groundswell of support from the female vote, but it didn't happen because, yes, abortion is an important topic, but the economy is far more important.
But also, you've been in power for 4 years. You could have fixed it by now.
Yeah. And the thing is, with the abortion thing, I've been listening and reading into it, both sides can't actually do anything about it. Trump came out and said quite early on he would not do a countrywide ban because he couldn't push it through, because he'd need the votes of the Senate and the House, and both parties are divided on it, and he would never have got a majority. Likewise, she couldn't have reinstated it herself because for the same reason. The Senate and the House would have been split and she wouldn't have got a majority. So she was running on something that really she couldn't actually deliver. And he was just distancing himself from it and kept saying, it's down to state law, it's down to state law. So she ran on that, but the women didn't vote for it. And there's quite a lot of left-wing media in the States they can't work it out. And it's simple. Women, and they don't like, because they have all sorts of stuff, don't they? They break all their electorate down into various groups. We don't do that here. It's like age groups and that's it. And there's a lot of backlash against non-college educated women. Or why are they voted for Trump? Because of the economy. That's it. There's loads of things, and I think he just stuck to it.
Yeah, it's a simple thing of he sent me a check. I got a check from him.
I got money.
And and I think Obama summed up really well. You go, Donald Trump sent you a check, but actually, other governments sent you a check that just didn't write the names on. And suddenly, putting DJT on the check was the best marketing ever because he sent you a check. And you remember that.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing he did right was the one thing she just didn't get didn't get a grip of. I think there was also, they were talking about, and she didn't distance herself from Biden. It was if she was still loyal to him in a way, so she wouldn't badmouth him. So she was tethered to him as an administration. So all the bad things immediately were pushed onto her by default. If she'd actually come out and been quite negative towards him, quite aggressive, okay, that would have ruined their relationship, but she would have probably become more of herself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's the whole thing of you can't badmouth the administration because you are the administration.
Yeah, and it's really weird, isn't it? It's really weird because it's not like when we have an election, the entire Conservative Party were together in the election. It wasn't as if like Rishi Sunak was here and I know Boris Johnson was here and they were both standing for election. It's different, but it's weird. You can't criticize yourself unless you openly be honest and say, yeah, we made mistakes and this is how I'm going to do to fix it. But she didn't do that.
But the instant answer is you've had 4 years, love.
And that's what he kept saying. Simple argument.
Yeah.
You've done nothing.
And I think it's the classic argument of if you just focus on one point and don't let anything else stand, you just go, you were bad. You just didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't achieve anything. And if you, just you can run a negative campaign just by focusing on one thing. Go, you didn't do it. Didn't do it. Prove me wrong. Oh, you can't. What I found really interesting was vote numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in 2020, Donald Trump got 74 million votes. In
You're going to say the
2024,
same thing I said. See,
yeah,
yeah,
Donald Trump got 74 million votes.
yeah,
In 2020, Biden got 81 million,
yeah.
and Kamala barely managed 70.
And the year,
Where are those 11 million votes?
yeah, and the argument is, are we saying that Biden's was more popular than Obama was in his prime? Because he only got about the same as
Yeah.
Kamala this
Well,
time as well.
the interesting thing is they get the graph out, and it's literally a straight
Oh,
line, other
I
than
know.
there's one discrepancy,
And
and you
okay,
go, I don't like it, but at the same time, oh, it looks bad on paper.
it's okay. They've got California still counting, which is just bizarre. It's like how many days ahead we now, and California haven't declared. But it does look, when you look at the graph on the pure raw data, the Democrat vote 2020 is just way out. It's an anomaly. And the thing is, I was watching one commentator saying, if that is true and there are 20 million vote difference, where did those 20 million people go? And the Democrats have either got one of two things. Either they lost the vote spectacularly and people didn't even vote for them, let alone vote for Trump. They just didn't vote.
Yeah.
Or those votes came from somewhere else. And it does make you think, and you just go, oh, wow, that is quite a big difference. I don't know, but it's weird.
Admittedly, it was litigated to hell in 2020. I
Mm.
think every state went through multiple litigations, and I think because of voter numbers and checks and balances, I think it was secure. But by the same token, where the hell have
Where's
11
this?
million voters gone?
It doesn't make sense. And
Yeah,
okay, they did postal ballots, but they did postal ballots this time, but it doesn't make sense. And yeah, was Biden more popular in 2020 than Obama was back in whatever it was, 8 years prior?
yeah,
26, not 2016, whatever it was. So it's bizarre, but it does make you go, where did they all
yeah.
disappear to?
Or was it literally Trump was in power, so everyone's going, "Oh, it's been a bit weird. We don't really like it," and voted en masse. And then this time we're going, "Oh, well, actually, that wasn't great, was it?" And just went, "I can't be bothered."
It'd be interesting to see once California finally got counted. I don't know why California. Apparently, it's a thing every year. Every time California is always the last
Because there's
state.
so many to votes to count. Probably there's so many
I don't
people
know.
live there.
Stupid system. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how many they're out by. If it's a lot less, then you could probably go, okay, fair enough. But if it's
Yeah,
still like 10 million, that's still 10 million people that have vanished.
yeah, yeah. Because looking at it, so according to my presidential results page on the Google, she's got 70.4 million, and he's got 74.3. And you go, that's a thumping.
Yeah,
That's winning the popular vote by a considerable amount.
yeah,
And like electoral college seats, you're going, well, she got two more than Hillary did in 2016.
yeah.
And you go, this is just a repeat. And it's the same thumping yet again.
And actually, it's more. It's a more comprehensive victory now than it was in 2016
Mm.
because I think there was 2 seats off the House of Representatives or 3 as of this
Yeah.
afternoon.
So with the Senate, there is a 4-seat change. That is basically you're done, guys.
Yeah,
And the House, you've got again 2 gained, 2 lost. So they're going to have everything.
yeah, and he got the popular vote because I didn't think he'd get the popular vote. I think we said it
Yeah.
the week, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is not only is it, as someone said, and I agree, the greatest political comeback ever
Yeah.
anywhere, but it's also he's won everything. And
Yeah.
it's a
Absolutely
resounding
nuts.
victory. It's not just he won by 0.1%, he won everything. So the Democrats can't blame Biden solely for that because everything went wrong. They did everything wrong and they just got absolutely hammered.
Also, this is confusing. So talking of California, so 63% of the vote has been counted. So you've got 37% left to be counted. She is 2.2 million votes ahead. You go, okay. So how have they called that?
Oh, I don't know how it
How do you
works when they
call it
call
that
it.
early? Yeah,
I don't know
but
how it
this is
works.
yeah. Yeah, yes, she's got 58%, but actually, there's tens of millions of people live in California. I
Well, I
don't get
suppose
it.
it's who voted, I guess, and things like that. And California are always going to go to the Democrats anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Their whole system is weird anyway. Yeah, still can't
Yes,
get me
this is
around it. How
true.
many years? It's
Yeah.
just every time I think I've got it understood, something weird pops up,
Mm.
and it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah. The whole thing is just it was a shooing and on every front. And again, like we said, how do you misplace 11 million votes? Yeah. Where did these people go? Did they just go, nah, we're good guys, whatever?
Yeah, we're not going to vote at all. That
Yeah.
doesn't. That
But
is weird.
and we don't want to sound like conspiracy theorists, but at
No,
the
no,
same
no.
time, yeah. But it's that thing of, but really?
You have to
Really?
ask the question, what
Yeah.
happened? And to be fair, I've not read into what the actual allegations were for vote stealing. The one thing, it was JD Vance who they asked him the question. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the many interviews they did. They said, "Did you believe that what Trump believes that the election was stolen?" And he said, "Answer me this: was there confirmed suppression of news stories on social media during 2020? Yes. The Hunter Biden laptop, Zuckerberg coming out and saying he was pressured to suppress right-wing posts. And he said, in that case, he said you could argue that there was vote interference during 2020. And I thought, you know what, he's probably right. But I don't exactly know what the accusations were. It's kind of just gone, just like, but
Yeah.
it makes you want to go back and actually understand who was accused of what. But certainly, yeah, 10 million people have vanished.
I'm just wondering how many votes Matey Boy got in 2016.
Well, Trump, it was 60 something.
62. Yeah, and she got
and
65.
yeah, hers was down to about 60. So it's gradually been
Yeah.
going up over the years anyway, regardless. Turnout's been going higher.
Yeah, just mad. So actually, so Clinton got 232 electoral college seats and Trump got 206. So yeah, this is a drubbing, an absolute drubbing.
Yep.
Oh, that's horrific. Yeah, just absolute shooing, isn't it?
Yeah. And yep, they can't. They're desperately trying to justify it with, and they can't. They have to stick your hands up and say, we've gone the wrong way. We've messed up. So we talked about celebrity endorsements. Celebrity endorsements used to be the big thing, didn't it? No one cares anymore. No one cares. And it comes down to the economic stuff, I think. You've got your mate, Taylor Swift. You've got Oprah. You've got J-Lo. All these multi-billionaire people telling people who they should vote for, when actually the economy problems doesn't affect them at all.
No.
And
that's the thing. You're trying to
people don't
bring
listen to
logic
them.
to a money fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's, again, oh yeah, we should do this. But actually, how much of it is real? Because you had like, well, do you see the Cardi B thing when the altar key broke and she had to read from her phone? And she stood up the lectern with a mobile reading it. So she's not actually speaking it's like not her words. It's like, it's so phony that you just think, how much of this is actually what you genuinely believe versus what they've told you to say. And the image doesn't come across very well. And the celebrity thing was hilarious. I think they said, it was that thing you said me, the Jonathan Pye thing, that Trump had Hulk Hogan. And that was the only like recognizable mainstream celebrity.
Yeah, he got Hulk Hogan and Dr. Phil. And
that was it, Dr. Phil. That was the one.
Yeah. And you just going, yeah, just Hulk Hogan, oh, I win. Yeah, Trumpomania running wild on you, brother.
So he didn't need the celebrity vote. And that's the funniest thing. All these massive celebs.
But it's the same thing again. We've been here before, guys. You did this in 2016 with Hillary. All the celebs get paraded out going, oh yeah, vote for Hillary, she's great. And Trump's just going, I can't even get a Mormon Tabernacle Choir to turn up, kind of thing. Yeah. And you go, yeah, but no one cares. Are you going to give me 50 quid in my pocket? Yes, cool, I'm going to vote for you, mate.
Yeah.
Are you going to take away all my rights in this process? Yep, that's fine. You're going to give me 50 quid still.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to jump around a bit. The Democrats also spent, I was reading it today, over $1 billion was spent on the campaign, and Trump spent not even half of that.
Like $2.99 a bag of chips kind of thing.
It was crazy, the amount of money they raised and the amount of money she spent. And it's just like, where did that money go? Where did it
also,
go?
what did it achieve?
Yeah.
Just
so much.
You did nothing. You said nothing.
He trolled them today. I did laugh, saying he's heard the Democrat Party are now in debt because of all the money they spent. And he said, we've got money left over from our campaign and we'll be happy in the prospect of unity to loan you some of our money to tide you over. And you just think, oh, that's harsh. But yeah, they spent $1 billion, the highest ever spend on an electoral campaign ever in American history. And I don't know what she got for her money. I really don't. Because if you look at Trump and his rallies, they were huge, massive arenas, loads of people. And I thought, well, that's quite a lot of money there. She didn't do that. So where did that money go? It's just like did they pay these celebrities to do it? But even that couldn't have cost them $1 billion.
Yeah. Who knows? And this is
Bizarre.
the thing. You've got. I hate saying this. He is a natural showman.
Oh yeah.
If you put him in a room with a microphone and just let him riff, then actually, the man is genuinely funny. And a part of me that thinks that I hate horribly, but you just go, he makes no sense whatsoever. The guy is completely insane, but he's really funny. And I hate it.
I watched the entire Rogan thing, 3-hour thing. And he's got something like ADHD, definitely, or something like that. But he was flitting between topics. But the narrative was going from A to Z. But he was all over the page to get to Z. But everything he was talking about, because I was making notes, because that's interesting. I want to know about that. I want to know about that, just to see what it is. Was all like little nuggets of information about certain topics that were true, but they were so sort of all jam-packed together that you kind of like, you have to write notes down to catch up with what's going on. So it's like all over the place. But you're right, he's a showman. Joe Rogan said he is a natural talker, and she wasn't. And the auto cue gaffes were obvious. And there was one beautiful video posted on Twitter, 3 videos in like a vertical format, different rallies where she's saying the same thing, exactly the same thing, with the same emotion. And it's like, that's a script. And I just don't think she was a natural candidate for the job. She was the only one they had, but she wasn't an orator. She couldn't word salad her way through anything. Even her concession speech didn't make sense. I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. She's not a natural orator, but he's a demagogue. And you just go, the man will just talk, and you sit there going, you're a monster. But by the same time, people are going to vote for you because you are good at what you do.
Yeah. Because Vance is a politician. His one on Rogan, he speaks well, articulate. He is a slick politician, definitely.
Yeah.
But Trump is just a personality. And I think that's why people like him, because he is not a politician. He just says what he thinks. He don't care. He just says what he thinks, and 9 times out of 10, he puts his foot in it. But he just says what he thinks, and Americans like that. They like that kind of honesty with personalities.
It was again, like in 2020, 2016 even, it's the whole thing of, what does he mean when he says words?
Yeah.
Going, like the whole build a wall thing the first time around, you've got like his supporter defending and going, well, actually, by building a wall, he means a firmer and more sensible immigration policy. And then the next thing you know, he's going, no, I mean, I'm going to build an actual wall. It's going to be 30 foot tall, built with concrete. And it's going to be great. And you're going, right. And you're thinking, again, when people unpick this era, so when we're long gone and people look back in the like charred remains of the 2020s and just go, right, what the hell happened there, guys? Just come on, behave.
Yeah. No, it is bizarre, but it's the personality. Because the whole thing about him being a convicted felon, people didn't care. No. I think I saw some interviews with people saying, he just makes him one of us. Someone said, I've got a conviction for X. Just makes him one of the people. And a lot of people believe that, rightly or wrongly, that the Department of Justice was politicized to go and get him. And that's the story he led on. And if you believe that kind of thing, you believe that kind of thing.
Yeah, and
simple. It made it worse.
You can't, you can't argue with it either.
Yeah, them going after him, whether it was politicized or not, made it 100 times worse. They didn't get what they wanted from it. The mugshot thing was just a way to merchandise, and him just say, they're out to get me because I'm, what did he say? His exact words were, they're coming to get me because I'm in the way of them coming to get you. There you go.
Yeah.
Just leans into that whole narrative.
Yeah.
And
the fact that mugshot was on more t-shirts, I think it made more money than he knew what to do with.
Yeah.
And he's going, giving him a mugshot was the best thing you could have done for him.
Yeah, and they made the mistake, and they've dropped now all the
investigators to be wound down.
Yeah,
because
and then the only one left is the civil.
Yes.
The civil sentencing.
The New York one, yes.
Yeah, and someone said
that's late
there's
November.
No judge in the world that he's going to do anything other than fine him now. They wouldn't even dare kind of do anything more than that.
Because the interesting thing is, because it's a civil case and not federal or anything like that, he can't even pardon himself for it.
No, he'll just get a fine or one. And
it would be the funniest thing if him like inauguration day from prison. It'd be the funniest thing in the world. If I was that judge, you go, I'm going to do it because I'm going to go down in history and I will never be forgotten. It would be the funniest thing in the world.
One thing someone said that Trump may do again to troll everybody is to pardon Hunter Biden for the thing he got convicted of not long ago, just to troll everybody by going, see, I'd do it, just to wind everybody up. That'd be just hilarious if he did it.
But this is the thing. There's so many options that you could just do to literally just piss people off.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do about it?
And the thing is, I don't know, I've heard people say it, and it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's like, well, that's what everyone's been doing to him. Now they're in power. It's going to go full circle. It's going to be tit for tat now. And because he was in the Rogan interview, Rogan asked him outright, why didn't you go after Hillary Clinton like they went after you? And he said, honestly, I did it because I didn't do anything because I didn't think it was the right thing to do, and it would have caused more problems than it had solved. I thought, you know what? Yeah, he could have gone after her for all those email nonsense and the server and all that, because she did do wrong, but he chose not to.
But that had also been litigated to hell beforehand.
Oh yeah, it's the lawyers and the legal stuff, but
yeah, you just think, oh God, it's just going to be such a. I think for me, it's Dear America. We've done this already, and the fact that he did his thing was, for a lot of Americans, they didn't survive his time in power because of the whole COVID handling or not handling.
Yeah, well, it's difficult.
And then suddenly you have a Biden administration that fumbles the ball so hard. You go, come on, guys, you just had to turn up and not mess up for 4 years, and you could have got there. And they just went, oh, tell you what, hold my beer, guys, we got this. How badly can we screw this? And now you're going, it's that unknown of, well, is he going to come back like the second coming, or is he going to come back with a vengeance?
Well, he's not going to come.
You don't know.
He's going to come back organised, because we talked about it, and he mentioned it in one of his interviews that he shouldn't have listened to a lot of people because he wasn't prepared. He didn't think he was going to win. But now he's got a proper team around him. He's got,
and I think that's the scariest thing.
Like the chief of staff, the lady that complete loyalists all around him now. He's not suffering all these kind of hangers-on and these politicians who think they know better. He's going to be far more organised. He's got the Senate and the House for 2 years minimum. Doubtful there'll be a COVID. And he's got, and the thing is, the word I've heard over the last couple of days is the mandate of the people. He keeps saying it.
Yeah, because
and he's right.
The popular vote.
The mandate of the people to do what needs to be done. And you just think, what can you say? He's right. And you've got the team around him. Some of them are not too bad. So, like I said, I like JD Vance. I'll go on the record as saying that. I think he'll make a great president in 2028. Musk, Kennedy, and all the others that are kind of slowly moved around him. So, more organised.
Again, the problem you've got is Musk is incredibly problematic. And
he's an interesting character in itself.
Yeah. But like any individual having that much influence, wealth, power should not be allowed to happen. Full stop. Whatever your political leanings are, he can literally, like Ukraine. When Ukraine are going, oh yeah, we're going to borrow like Starlink to have internet, and that was really good, really fantastic stuff. And then when they go, oh yeah, we're going to like invade this part, and no, you're not. I'm going to turn it off. And you go, but you're going to shut my Wi-Fi down because you don't want me to do it. And you go, you can't have someone with that ability. Sorry, you just can't.
It's interesting because if he hadn't bought Twitter, I don't think the election would have gone the same way, because Twitter were suppressing.
Yeah.
But they were, back then, they were genuinely suppressing free speech, and they were genuinely, admittedly suppressing right-wing conversations. So he made it free.
Again,
but
as
at a cost,
private
obviously.
company, they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And I think this is the problem. Like, I go on Twitter now, and I have very, like, some accounts are literally I follow hardly anyone, and my timeline, the suggested posts are so right wing. I just go, Jesus Christ!
I just get sick of the ads.
Oh, it's horrific. You're going, Christ, this is such a vile cesspool.
Yeah, you've got to do a lot of work on it now to filter out the nonsense. I still get, every follow I get is a Russian bikini clad bot. Every single follow is just that. And I remember doing an experiment where I paid for a month for whatever it was, the premium thing. And still no one replied to any of my tweets, and no one viewed any of my tweets. So I don't know how that works. I've not got into the weeds of trying to work out how you get more traction on Twitter. You must have to interact with a lot of people.
It's like you look at some posts or some tweets even, and it's literally every reply, blue tick, blue tick, blue tick, blue tick, blue tick.
Yeah, well, the blue tick thing's just gone out the window now, isn't it, really? So it's, I don't know. But it's an interest, you're right. It has fueled a lot more hate speech, but at the same time, before, you're only getting one side of the speech. So it's like, where's the balance? It's difficult.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're going to have a completely free platform, it has to be completely free. It's like the old classic, type in cisgender, you get a warning from Twitter.
The good thing,
part of me want to do it to see if it's true or not.
The good thing is the community
notes.
Yeah, they're brilliant, because some of them
they're the funniest things in the world. Yeah.
The
one versus Twitter was the funniest thing. Yeah.
One of the funniest ones was the thing when everyone was referring to Kamala as a border czar, and then a journalist from a journalist's website wrote that she'd never been referred to as the border czar, and then the community note was the same guy's article from 4 years ago saying she was the border czar.
She's a border czar. Yeah,
just
beautiful.
I thought, I don't normally laugh at these, but that was just like, that was funny.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. But no, Twitter in general.
So
we digress.
Musk,
yes.
Elon Musk is problematic. That is beyond reproach. Robert F. Kennedy, again, is really problematic.
Well, I was reading the thing. They said he will not get a cabinet post because he can't get security clearance because of some of the historical stuff he has said. He won't get the clearance to do it. I can believe him when he wants to deal with the food. That's his main role. And some of the stuff he's come out with, because the American food industry is bonkers compared to us.
Yeah.
And when I say us, I mean Europe. And I can see them giving him some kind of, I use the word czar, can't think of a better word, to deal with that. But he won't get a formal post anywhere. because just his views are bonkers. And also, Trump has already said loads of times he's not touching the oil. It's keep him away from the oil. So,
Yeah.
but I think Trump will honour his promise and give him something to do. And because he's that kind of person, he's not going to, he likes loyalty, and he will give him something to do.
Yeah. It's interesting, you can go back to like vote numbers. Even if you add all of the third party candidates and other candidates and everybody else,
crazy, isn't there?
she still doesn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah. She still falls short by millions. And you go, how? I don't get it. Because like normally you go, well, actually, like Jill Stein, RFK, and others, you go, oh, they might filter off some votes. But you go, no, if I add them all on, he still wins. And you go, well, crap. Just the hell.
Talking to Twitter and stuff like that, a lot of the people actually tout Baron Corbin. That's wrestling. Baron Trump being influential because he got Donald onto all those random podcasts. So obviously not the Joe Rogans, but all the other ones. Apparently Trump was saying, yeah, my son came to me and said, you need to go speak to this guy. He said, I don't know who he is. He said, don't matter. He's really big on Twitter. Go and speak to him. And a lot of people are saying now, and the mainstream media are panicking, that actually podcasts are now becoming where people are getting their news from. And the fact that Trump very cleverly used all the podcasts to do what they call the bro vote, sort of the male vote, and it worked. And this is, I'm going to divert and you're going to cringe, but if Nigel Farage follows the same pattern
Good God,
here,
fucking no. Yeah.
It makes sense because people, especially in America, don't trust the mainstream media anymore. And they've gone, and I listened to Joe Rogan I for a long time. And when he said he was going on there, I thought she needs to do it. And did you hear the story behind she offered to do it for an hour, but he would have to fly to Los Angeles to interview her. And he said, no, I'll do it from a studio in Austin. You come down and speak to me. And he actually said, all I want to do is sit down with her and have a conversation with her to find out what she's like as a human being, because I don't know what she's like as a human being. It'd been a car crash. And I didn't know this. Some of the billions of dollars. No, she did a podcast with some kind of weird dildo woman on some podcast. I can't remember what it's called. Call Me Daddy or something. Generally, she does sex toys and stuff like that.
Okay.
She didn't go to her. They rebuilt the podcast set somewhere else, and the podcaster flew out, did the podcast as if it was with her, and then went back. It's bizarre, but the podcast thing, he utilized that again to his advantage, and it worked.
If you tell me we have a special guest joining us in 5 minutes, and Nigel Farage, I will actually lose my mind. Don't do it to me. I won't cope.
Where I live, it's the hotbed of reform. I'm surrounded by them. Dan, well, actually, you're near you as well. And we're both near reform people, but no, it is the podcasts. And to be honest, I can see it because did you see the Channel 4 coverage fiascos that happened? Because I'm pivoting a little bit, but still talk about the media. So you had Boris was one of the panelists, and he kept getting in trouble for plugging his book. So like Alan Partridge, he kept lifting his book up and talking about it, and Christian Guru-Murphy kept telling him off. And then they had Emily Maitlis on there, and I don't like Emily Maitlis at all. I find her very arrogant. And gradually, as the votes are coming in, she was getting more and more wound up, and you could see her chewing a wasp just in the background. And in the end, she started swearing. And then they went for a break and came back, and she'd gone, and she'd just been kicked off because she was just like talking over all the guests. And then she started not effing Jeffy, but she was like bullshitting and all that kind of stuff. And the next minute she'd just gone. And it did make me chuckle.
Love it.
There's certain people who like, what's his name? Rory, former Tory politician, Rory something.
Rory Stewart. Yeah, Rory Stewart.
And Alistair Campbell do a podcast, and Rory Stewart said, I'm so confident that Kamala's going to win. I've put all this amount of money on her. And then there's just a shot of them in the after the results, just sitting there going, still talking. But he just apparently lost a lot of money. He was so confident she was going to win. So quite a lot of people over here have also kind of that area of the media have gone, oh, hang on a minute, we were wrong. We were so confident. I think a lot of people, especially from the left-wing media, even in the UK, have gone, ooh.
Well,
And
like we've said before, and this again, I sound like a broken record on my part. The left have forgotten how to actually have a conversation, how to
yep,
have a debate, how to actually make a point. You,
yep,
now it's a case of you're either with me or you're not. You're on my side or you're evil.
yep.
You're good because you're with me or you're bad. And you
It's
just go, yeah. And I
it's
think we've said this before in fandom, in politics, in anything. It's a case of you're with me or you hate me. There
yeah,
is no constructive debate,
yeah.
and you just think, if you can't manage that, how the hell do you break through? So I'm I'm an old lefty. Everyone knows this because, of course, I am. But you need to be able to engage with people, to have a
Yep,
conversation, and actually convince them that your point of view might actually have some benefit to it, rather
yeah,
than just going, "You don't agree with me, you're a twat," and
yeah.
you just think, "Come
There's
on, guys, behave."
that happened to me this week. I posted on
Hmm.
Facebook and I said, "Look, it's a might be a bad take, but the best person won. He had the best uh
Hmm.
he had the best policies, and she didn't." And I had someone come back who I hadn't spoken to in years, just sort of saying, "Well, anyone who believes in those policies must be a fascist." And I'm thinking, does that make me a fascist? I thought, I'm not going to engage in a debate here because I don't want to have an argument with someone I ain't spoke to in
Yeah,
years. But
but
yeah,
also the fact that that's their takeaway. You go, well, what we're saying is the best campaign won. We don't necessarily agree it's the right campaign won, but the best one won.
yeah,
Because
and
actually the other campaign didn't have a campaign. They had no policies. They had no charisma, no draw, no anything.
no, and you can't label 76 million people racist and fascist because they
No.
voted for someone that you may not like.
Yeah.
And
And again, if you
that's
look at the battleground states, it was just Trump, 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 Trump. It was
everything. Go on.
so yeah, and it was the classic blue states were blue, the classic red states were red, and all the we flip occasionally. Oh look, they're all red, and you've been obliterated.
Yeah, there was some pretty interesting maps. We're jumping around here. There was a map where they got arrows. Left was blue, red was right was red, and it basically showed all the key major cities in America were blue, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else was red. So it's like all the kind of elite populist areas are Democrat and all the red. And there was also another one because a lot of people have left California for Texas. It's a big kind of emigration of people after COVID. And you can see it over time, 2016, 2020, 2024, the amount of areas in Texas is now red. It's
Well,
crazy.
Austin, yeah, Austin is blue.
Blue, yeah.
It will be. Yeah,
All
the rest of
around it.
Texas, yeah. And
Yeah.
again, you go, well, what's your campaign based on? If you're looking at middle class women who live in California, you lose. You just lose. If you're looking at a random farmer that's in Arizona, then actually, if you can appeal to, for want of a better phrase, the lowest common denominator, then you win.
Yeah.
It's that
That's,
simple.
and people say, it was 2 years ago. I thought, I want to understand what's going on because I like American politics, but I don't understand why he's so popular. So I started reading around it, following different people, and understanding a bit more about how America kind of ticks. You cannot superimpose the UK onto America and expect it to make sense. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people, a lot of posts I've seen, people I know who are shocked. God, they can't understand why Americans have picked Trump. You can't take what the UK does and make it fit because it doesn't fit. And until you understand why and all the nuances in America, because it's all completely different, you can't just go, well, Americans are stupid, because they're not.
No.
They are far from stupid. And that whole country, there was a really good post, or trigonometry, this podcast guy, the Russian guy, Konstantin, or he's quite a good podcaster. He listed 10 things why this matters to Americans. And there's all sorts of stuff that we have no experience on over here because we don't experience it. So you can't just look at it and go, whoa, Americans must be stupid again, because they're not. And 70 million people are not stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's like what we said. It's because those that are saying, well, they're all stupid and racist and fascist, they're not willing to have and engage in that conversation.
No.
And you're just
you've
going,
got to
well, what
respect,
are you doing?
you've got to respect people's opinions. And if people have an opinion, unless they are demonizing somebody or actively attacking people, which is completely different.
Well, in all honesty, if you're going to have truly free speech, everyone is entitled to their opinion. But I'm entitled to tell you why I don't think you're correct. And I think that's the thing. An opinion should have consequences to it. And I think that's the melee of having a viewpoint. Okay, if you have a viewpoint, defend your viewpoint for me. You can't just go, I think I'm right. No, defend it. Tell me why you're right. Have an actual engaged debate with me about why you think your view is better than mine.
And you shouldn't be, regardless of your viewpoint, you shouldn't force that on someone else just because you feel you should. It's everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and it's all about having a structured debate based on facts, not on like conjecture and what people think is true because X has told them, or Y is X, not as in X, but a person has told them that.
Form your own opinion and develop why you think your opinion should be respected and listened to.
And who was it? There's a famous quote, and I can't remember if it's it's Muhammad Ali. So I can't remember the exact wording of it, but it's basically saying, if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, then you've not lived. So people's opinions can change. Because I used to be radically quite left, and I'm not anymore, because over time and over life, things have changed. And I would probably say I was centre right, just because of life and what happens. But if someone comes to me with a left-wing point of view, I'm not going to go, shut up, you're not right. No. Because, hey, I've already been there before.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I joke and say I'm an old lefty, but actually sometimes people say stuff and I go, whoa, behave. And jumping again slightly, I have a real fear for us over here. Because actually, in 4 years or 5 years' time, 4.5 years' time, when we have our next election, unless Labour pull their heads out of their ass and actually do something, they will be obliterated.
Oh, yeah. And whether it's Reform or Conservatives, they'll get...
And this is the thing. You're 4 months in and you go, you're only 4 months in, but you've done nothing.
Except for take money off people.
You again, like the budget, you go, oh yeah, you didn't actually raise taxes on people, but you put like national insurance up by £1,000 a person for companies. And you go, but companies pay people's wages. So that's going to impact prices and wage increases and et cetera and et cetera. And like the minimum wage is a fantastic thing. But again, small businesses are going, how the hell do we afford that? And you're going, this is going to hurt people.
Yeah.
And yes, I can see why they're trying to avoid austerity, but you are going to get absolutely slated for it.
Yeah. And we could talk ages about that in terms of all the money and all the money they're throwing at other things, whether it's green energy, Ukraine, and all the pay rises and all that kind of stuff. And you just think, is this thing... Speaking of Labour, do you see all the backtracking a lot of them have had to do this week now that Trump's in? It's been hilarious. Especially our foreign secretary, who called him a neo-Nazi KKK sympathiser, and his excuse was, when you're on the backbench, you can say what you like, but when you're in government, you know what you have to say, or something words like that. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, mate. If you're going to have an opinion, stick to it. And actually, calling him a KKK sympathiser, but all joking aside, calling him a KKK sympathiser is fine because he was endorsed by David bloody Dukes. Come on.
Yeah. But it's just...
And then refused to denounce it.
And they're all backtracking now and kind of falling over themselves. And Farage is sat there in the celebration party, the only person who was invited. And you think, I'm sorry, but he's got more of a foot in the door with the most powerful man in the world than you have.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, the special relationship is going to be really special.
And Starmer will do whatever he needs to do, but it is quite funny watching all them lot kind of falling over themselves to try and backtrack over all the stuff they said about him over the last few years, and it's like, really?
Well, it's like Starmer's had a really crap week, isn't he? Because he goes, "Oh yeah, I've made some really good inroads with the German government." 3 days later, the German government has collapsed. Awesome. Cool.
And now they're
I guess.
panicking. They're panicking because Trump's in power. They're all panicking.
Yeah, literally. Trump got elected. The German government went, "Nope, we're done. See you later. Peace out."
I don't know.
But yeah, I think the next 4 years, come January, is going to be, in the words of a apparently ancient Chinese proverb, interesting. We are going to live in interesting times. And like we said, he's going to come back and he's going to be organised.
Yeah,
and
far more
I think
organised.
that is probably the scariest version of Donald Trump you can imagine, because he knows what he's doing this time. The first time was finding
that's exactly
his feet.
right.
That time is, I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
whatever he plans to do.
This is the last time he can do it as well, because he can only stand for one more term. So he's emboldened because he's got the mandate. He's organised. He's got people around him. He knows what he's doing, and he's only got 4 years to do it all. And he will want
Donald Trump unleashed.
And he'll want to cement his legacy. And yeah, it is genuinely going to be interesting to see how the world reacts, because it has been, and I think we talked about it, I've definitely predicted it as well. Russia was just waiting for the outcome. Now they've stepped up and said, let's talk about peace. Middle East, they were definitely waiting until he was in power, because they've just been sitting back and waiting, so that will get resolved one way or another. So and then there's China, all the Taiwan things all gone very quiet now, because it's like, rightly or wrongly, he's unpredictable.
Yeah. And again, I think because he's used China as a punching bag, I think China will still be, I don't want to say contained, because again, the problem is, like, first time round, you, like, in Asia, they would have meetings and America was not there. China came with full delegation, so they were setting the local agenda, because America went insular. So if there's a power vacuum, people are going to take the place, and it's going to be China. It's going to be Russia. And, well, actually, if I was Palestinian, I'd be severely worried, because there ain't going to be one in about 6 months. They'll just wipe out the face of the planet, because who's going to stop them? Ukraine, again, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near it.
No, the Ukraine thing will get sorted, because Trump said no more money. He's not going to get. I don't even know if they'll get the 173 billion that was promised. He probably will get some of that.
I think I saw a thing from Biden saying they're trying to wrap up every single piece of foreign aid and foreign policy before their time is up.
Yeah,
because otherwise, it will be undone.
Yeah.
And so again, if you're in Ukraine, we're sorry. It's gonna suck, and Russia's coming, and no one's gonna stop them. Because unless NATO go to war with Russia, which the Americans won't support, so that's not gonna happen.
No, it'll be down to Germany and France and the likes of us to sort it out. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know, but good, interesting stuff.
So next time, LFCC winter?
Yes, so I'll be there next weekend. So we will record something after that, tell you about my experiences in queues, because that's all it'll be.
Yep. Queues, love a queue.
There'll be some disaster, because there always is when they've got stress queues.
Yeah, Chuti and Millie both get like flu the day before.
God, I'm running back for that. I'm not going down for nothing. I'm not going down to London for nothing.
Oh, I can see it now. They announced 10 on Wednesday, and Tim is poor for
life. Yes, right. Enough of that. We shall bid you adieu.
On that note, we will say TTFN.
Cheerio.